Hello and welcome to GameTales. Left for Dead Special Infected. The Special Infected are the mutated variants of common infected. Through some unknown mechanism of the green flu, a small percentage of infected humans will undergo a dramatic mutation, eventually turning into one of these special infected, each with their own unique inhuman abilities. They don't spawn as regularly as the common infected do, but their abilities can easily wipe out a team of survivors if not dealt with quickly. The special infected have higher intelligence than the common infected. Special infected are not affected by the beeping sounds of the pipe bomb. They will sometimes bide their time waiting for survivors to reach ambush areas before attacking them. Several special infected may also hide after attacking or attempting to attack a survivor. Boomer. The boomer is a special infected that vomits a special bile at survivors, which temporarily blinds them and draws a horde of common infected to them. At a distance, the boomer isn't much of a threat. Their large size and low health make them an easy target against any weapon at mid to long range. However, if within range, they can vomit on survivors, attracting the horde. When they die, they explode, covering any survivors who are close enough with bile, blinding them and causing them to stumble backwards. Boomers can be anticipated because of the near constant gurgling they make. Hunter. The hunter is a special infected that can pounce and pin down survivors, clawing at their abdomen until either the victim is dead or the hunter has been knocked off or killed by another survivor. They are also extremely fast and agile, capable of quickly scaling walls. They have the least visible mutations and can easily be mistaken for a common infected. Hunters are not the most physically robust infected, having relatively low health, and thus it doesn't take very much to kill them. When the hunter crouches down in preparation to pounce, he growls, giving himself away to any nearby survivors. However, while standing, he makes no noise. The hunter is the only special infected that can remain absolutely silent. They can be killed with a melee weapon while in the state of pouncing by aiming upwards and hitting. Smoker. The smoker is an ambush class that can strangle survivors with his long tongue. The help of another survivor is required to escape from a smoker's hold, though if quick enough, it is possible, though difficult, to kill a smoker who has already grabbed you. As the name implies, smokers emit smoke when killed to impair survivors' vision. A smoker also will frequently cough, letting the survivors know when he is in the area. The smoker can drag survivors that he has captured with his tongue towards himself, though he remains stationary and cannot move. The smoker is also momentarily paralyzed for a few seconds after having his tongue removed from his captive by another survivor. Tank. The tank is the biggest and strongest of all the infected and can easily wipe out a team in seconds. He is reasonably fast, only slowing if hit with large amounts of automatic weapons fire or when lit on fire. The tank has incredible strength and resistance. His punch can send survivors flying, rendering them temporarily defenseless and stunned. The blow can send survivors of high hazards to their deaths. He is also capable of throwing chunks of concrete that he rips out of the ground to momentarily stun survivors, dealing the same amount of damage as a punch would. He can also punch large objects such as cars, dumpsters, and forklifts in the direction of survivors with enough force to incapacitate them instantly. Charger. The charger's main attack is charging forward and ploughing into the survivors, hence the name. On a successful charge, he will grab and carry a single survivor away while knocking down the others. Once the charger has hit a wall or other surface, or after he has run a certain distance, he will begin slamming his captive into the surrounding earth until an ally frees them. If he misses and hits a wall, he will stumble, leaving him open to attack. The charger can be detected by the survivors by the warped growling noise he makes. He will announce his charge with a loud bellow. The charger appears to have a rocky or calloused surface on his larger right arm, which is what he uses to inflict most of his force when charging. Because of his hulking size, the charger cannot be shoved off with melee and must be killed in order to release his victim. If a survivor has explosive rounds, they will dislodge the charger from the survivor and cause him to stumble. Any survivor that has been knocked out of the way during his charge will fly a considerable distance and slowly stand back, making the charger a deadly foe in cramped hallways or near high passageways. He is also the strongest and most durable of the special infective, excluding the tank and the witch. Additionally, his melee attacks are very strong and can easily incapacitate a weakened survivor. Jockey. The Jockey is a small infected that attacks survivors by clinging to them from behind and literally riding the survivor while attacking them. he can shift his weight around and cause the survivor to stumble in his desired direction, giving this special infected a type of control over the survivor. He will only let go if his victim becomes incapacitated or if he gets knocked off or killed. Survivors who are being ridden by the jockey can attempt to resist the jockey, causing it to slow and even pause for a second, which allows other players a chance to catch up and knock the jockey off. Jockeys can ride survivors into dangerous situations, such as into natural hazards, witches, or other infected. A jockey can also pull a survivor off a ledge, causing them to become incapacitated, or riding them to their death if they are not resisting. He has a maniacal laugh which gives away his location and is constantly twitching, giving him a sort of hyperactive nature. Spitter. The spitter possesses the ability to spit a green ball of acid from long distances, which, upon hitting the ground, will expand into a large puddle and damage any survivors who make contact with it. After spitting, however, the spitter is temporarily paralyzed for a second, giving the survivors a chance to kill her. The spitter makes these high-pitched noises that give away her location. The longer the survivor stands in it, the more damage the survivor takes from the goo. This ability allows the spitter to aid other special infected. For instance, if a hunter pounces a survivor, a spitter can spit upon that survivor, causing even more damage. However, in spite of such a useful ability, the spitter is very weak in terms of health, so taking out a spitter is an easy task. Upon death, the spitter leaves a similar, smaller kind of puddle that has the same effect on the survivors. She is one of the most powerful infected if survivors are caught standing in her spit and are too distracted to move quickly due to other infected or a lack of awareness at the damage being dealt. Witch. The witch is the second boss infected and is one of the worst obstacles you can come across in the campaign. However, she generally only appears a few times and is passive unless provoked by flashlights, gunfire, or survivors in close proximity. Pistol fire does not provoke her easily, but it will do only a small amount of damage. She is very powerful, capable of incapacitating and even killing survivors with one hit. The witch cries loudly. When nearby, survivors will mention they hear her and warn teammates to turn off their flashlight. While the witch can be killed, her increased health makes this difficult. It is best to avoid her if possible. Witches can be startled if a survivor stands too close to her, damages her or shines their flashlight on her from a close to moderate distance. She will also start to growl if a survivor looks at her through the hunting rifle or sniper rifle scope for a long time. The witch is very rarely found in small rooms and normally stays off the main route. Once a witch has killed a survivor or cannot pathfind to her target, she will retreat from the area and despawn. However, in some strange cases, the witch has been known to kill the closest survivor to her. This does not usually happen, and when it does, the witch runs off as normal after killing the survivor. Wandering Witch. The wandering witch is only seen in the daylight hours, aimlessly wandering around and sobbing loudly with her head in her hands. Her constant movement makes the wandering witch harder to avoid, but she is also far more introverted and reacts only to direct attacks or physical contact. One can even damage her slightly without startling her. Unlike the sitting witches, she does not seem to be alerted that readily by flashlights.